The American public school system, designed to educate and inspire its citizens to grow into distinguished, hardworking, and intelligent individuals. At least, that's what it's supposed to do. So, those of you who are American and have gone to public school, you can likely relate to most, if not all, of what I'm about to talk about, especially if you attended middle school and high school throughout the later half of the 2010s. Now, there were definitely many different types of characters that made up this experience. And many of these types of people you probably had in your own school too. The Cookie Monster PJ girls, the fake gangster boys, and the hot Cheeto girls. And yes, these people actually exist, and it's not even to be judgmental, but they literally embodied the stereotypes that you see online. And for those of you who aren't American and are wondering, pajama Cookie Monster girl, pajamas in school? Well, in American public school, we actually do not have to wear uniforms. We only have to abide by a dress code. Now, the dress code was definitely more strict for girls than it was for boys. Like, there would be girls wearing pants and a tank top, but they would get called out for their straps being too thin on the shirt. But then, there would be boys with their shirts like full on off in the hallways, and the teachers would not say anything. And yeah, while pajamas were typically not accepted within the dress code, the Cookie Monster PJ girls did not care about being written up. American public schools are also probably notorious for their fights, and everything you hear about the fights is probably true. Like, I specifically remember one time in 11th grade waiting in the breakfast line. It's 7 in the morning, and these two girls just start breaking out in a fight in the breakfast line at 7 a.m. And some of these fights are like so insane. I remember there was a fight that broke out between these two girls, but one of the girls was basically handicapped because she had broken her leg and had a cast on. But she was the one that initiated the fight, and she lunged at this girl with a box cutter. The fights made everything pretty hectic, to say the least. There was also always a problem with going to the bathroom because the teachers wouldn't let you most of the time. Now, this is mostly because of, yes, fights breaking out, but also when you were able to go to the bathroom, it became very apparent why, because it would either smell like a skunk or a burnt mango. So people would use the bathroom to smoke weed or hit their vape. People would also use the bathrooms to skip class, which was super boring, by the way. Like, I maybe skipped class once this way, and I wondered why people do it for fun. Anyways, all of these things resulted in the teachers never allowing kids to use the bathrooms. And it did really just suck for everybody, but especially if you were a girl. And there's just something so evil about when the male teachers would have us explaining in front of the whole class why we absolutely need to use the bathroom right at this very second. Actually, even some female teachers would have us doing that. Isn't that crazy? So when I was in 9th grade, I had my EpiPen, right? And so I have to alert all the teachers about my pen and my allergy. And so I told the teacher, like, hey, I have a tree nut allergy and I carry an EpiPen in case I go into an anaphylactic shock. And this lady dead looked me in the eyes and said, you're a big girl now, you can take care of it yourself. My goodness, some of these teachers were ready to fight these children. To be fair to the teachers, many students would also make the teachers' lives hell. There were kids that would curse the teachers out, there were kids that would make the teachers cry, there were even some kids who would fight the teachers. Anyhow, for people who have gone to American public school or who are going to American public school currently, you know the food is kind of less than mid. Like, don't get me wrong, the cafeteria workers are awesome and they work their butts off. They're not the ones who get the recipes or, you know, they're told what to feed us. And for some reason, the people who choose the food love to choose like gray slop sometimes, cardboard pizza, and don't forget the mystery meat. You know, we all love the mystery meat. Sometimes online you'll see foods from different countries and how good it looks in their public schools. And then you just look at ours and it's like an insane difference and drop in quality. Also, for non-Americans, we do have lockdown drills. But sometimes where I went to school, there were real lockdowns. Whether it was because there were shady people around the building or actual gunshots being heard right outside of the school. All that while people are trying to get an education or a bag. Honestly, I don't know how to transition from that into anything else. To end this off, did anyone else have kids in their class who would come with JBL speakers and blast music super loud in the halls? If you are attending an American public school or have attended an American public school, leave your anecdotes or stories down in the comments. Or if you're a non-American, leave a comment down below about how your country runs their public schools. Anyways, I did promise to answer some of the leftover Q&A questions that were asked while I was making the other video, so now I shall answer them. This question is from Cool Dude Trejo and they ask, how old are you? And to answer that, I am 20 years old. And this next commenter, they asked some questions that are in my other Q&A, so go check out that video if you want to see the other answers. Ace the Title asks, how did you come up with your name? And it's just a nickname of mine. Do you have any major plans to continue this channel as a passion? Yes, absolutely. What is your favorite movie, series, or franchise? And I do have to say, I absolutely love the Twilight movies, mostly the first and the second ones. Like, even though they are looked down upon as kind of cringe, I absolutely love them. If you could shapeshift into an animal, what would you be? And I would probably want to shapeshift into a bunny. Are you into fantasy or sci-fi? Fantasy. This next question comes from A Fox's Tale Official, and they ask, do your ideas come from you, or do you get inspiration from other people or YouTubers? So I really do like to brainstorm with my boyfriend. We'll both toss around ideas until we get to something. Or if I have a video idea, I'll take it to him and ask him about it, see if it's a good idea or not. This next question comes from Fatal Animations YT, and they ask, what is my favorite place to chill? And my favorite place to chill is probably my room. So thank you guys all for watching, and I really just can't believe I'm already at 2,000 subs. Like, I'm so grateful for all of you. Like, I thank God for this. And I hope you all continue to stick around and enjoy the journey.